on Divorce Court today. A 3-year relationship hit the rocks when pressure from their exes, plus their adult business, seeps into their bedroom. Natalie and Erik have been married for 1 year, and unless they can settle their intimate differences, they might not see their second anniversary. Erik Hadden and Natalie Hadden have brought their dispute for Judge Lynn Toller to resolve. Testimony in Divorce Court starts now.
Mr. and Mrs. Hadden, the two of you have been married less than a year. You've come here not for a divorce, thank goodness, but you've seen how I talk to people. You thought I might have enough information or advice or wisdom to help. I hope I do. We are going to start with Mr. Hadden. Why don't you tell me what you think the concerns are in this very young marriage?
Well, Your Honor, I was married before, and it was a very conservative marriage. Also, I've had previous relationships, whereas on the conservative side, from a sexual standpoint. So now, being married to my wife, she is very outgoing. She's beautiful. I want to please her from a sexual standpoint, from every other standpoint. But her expectation, her needs are pretty, you know, out of the norm for myself. Right. And so I'm trying to catch up a little bit.
I do so appreciate the ease with which you are just leaning into this slowly and nicely with conscientiousness and an eye towards, you know, my quiver button. But Ms. Hadden, I'm just going to say it. You need sex at least 6 times a day, according to you. Is that accurate?
I do find that accurate. I think I'm a very open sexual person. We also have a business which is in of the adult nature as well. I feel like...
What kind of business did you have?
We run a consulting business, Your Honor, for aspiring models that are looking to get into the adult industry.
So you help folks get into porn?
It's not exactly porn.
They need a lot of help.
There's just basically, so if they're doing something, you can do it with your husband or wife. You could do it by yourself. You could do it from the safety of your own home. You're not shooting it out in public. It's a new, you know, safer.
It's home-based porn.
Home-based, and your own safety of your own thing. You do what you're comfortable with. You know, a lot of these people we don't ever meet, just making sure.
Gotcha.
As well as our regular day-to-day life. I want to be, you know, we're parents. I'm involved in the PTCO. Our children, you know.
Oh, doesn't make you a bad person at all.
No, just we want that great lifestyle for family in the daytime, but I like the excitement and the everything that goes with it at night.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that asking a guy, and he's 42, to have sex 6 times a day is kind of demanding?
If you put it like that, demanding. I have not been married before. I was in some bad relationships, several, before. I finally found someone whom I'm in love with and who's able to satisfy me and mentally, emotionally, physically. And I don't think that's a bad thing. To want to be with him is every chance that I can be. So it comes
I'm not saying that it's a
wrong.
bad thing. You're looking for judgment when there is none. I'm talking about physical capacity. That's a lot of sex in a day.
Capacity, yes, that is a lot to ask for.
I understand that in an effort to address this disparity between your sexual desires, you have considered becoming swingers. Is that a real conversation that you're having, or is it just kind of like a pie-in-the-sky idea?
So I would not say a pie in the sky. Definitely a real conversation, obviously more than one. And it's not necessarily a swingers, but introducing another partner or partners into the relationship.
Gotcha.
You know, just to kind of, you know, see where that leads. I definitely am hesitant, not from not wanting to. I'm definitely a red American, you know, man, but I wonder and am concerned about being able to see the effects of something like that introduced into a marriage, and you can't bounce out of it.
Right.
You know, so the act happens or it doesn't happen, and so I don't know. I have reservations.
Do you have reservations, or is this something you're encouraging?
My concerns for all of this is based on our previous relationships. We come from very different backgrounds. Erik's had several relationships where we're very not intimate relationships, sexless, several relationships where he wasn't able to explore I feel, as much as, you know, and be the sexual person that he is. So me wanting to do all of these things is just wanting Erik to get to be who he really is and be able to relax and not be judged for anything, and just kind of my part of bringing to the marriage what I think that he's always kind of wanted. And
now, you know, it's interesting that you said that. You're trying to encourage him to be who he really is.
yes.
Maybe he is who he really is. Do you see what I'm saying? You're
I do.
assuming that who he really is something other than what's come to the table. And maybe the idea of what you want him to be is not who he really is, and oughtn't he make that decision?
You know, I would say you could say there's some truth to that, but considering how our relationship started, we met on a dating website. We both had kind of just thrown it all out there. Look, this is where we're coming from. Threw it all on the table, said this is it. And our relationship has kind of went all the way backwards, where you feel like you've known somebody forever.
Right.
And like everything. So in the beginning, you know, for as far as, you know, we waited.
So what is your problem that you've come to discuss with me? Because I thought it was that in part, but I don't see that as a problem now. I think you guys are on a sexual journey. Why not?
Why not?
She's a little ahead on the trail. You bring it up the rear, but you're willing to keep going.
Oh, definitely.
And there doesn't seem to be a problem there.
It's
Am
not
I
a bad
accurate?
journey.
The problems stem from which lead to that. The sex ties into everything.
Okay, explain that.
So if we were having constant trouble because of other situations that are occurring in our life, that puts a damper on me from an emotional side, where he's in the mood too and I'm not, because I'm emotional about some things, or he's stressed out because we have a lot of other things.
So what you're telling me is you have strains on your relationships that are in turn straining your sex life, restraining your sex life. And so
above and beyond. Yes. Ma'am.
okay, then let us turn to those concerns.
Sure.
Next, is the stress from blending a family and dealing with exes enough to break this marriage apart? If the ink on your marriage license is barely dry, but you're ready to call it quits, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt. Real people, real conflict, real judgments. Divorce Court continues.
I understand that one of the primary stressors on the marriage is trying to blend your two families, because both of you have children from previous relationships, and it has become difficult. Mr. Hadden, I'm going to start with you. Why don't you tell me who the players are and what the concerns are?
So the players are basically our previous relationships. Obviously, we have children, 5 in total.
How many do you have?
I have 2.
And she has 3.
Natalie has 3. Trying to have another between the 2 of us. But so the issue is the fact that we don't know exactly what's being done and said in the other homes. Natalie actually has 100% custody of hers. I'm 50-50. So basically, it targets my children that come into our home 50% of the time. And I don't know exactly what's being said, what's being done in the other home. However, I do know that my ex has a relationship with her ex.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's, I don't know if interesting is the word, but.
What concerns do you have regarding what's going on in the other home? I mean, what things have the children said or done that cause you to be concerned about what's happening when they're not with you?
Right. Well, when they come over, it's kind of like deprogramming them. Every single time they come over, they have questions. Whose house am I staying in now? Or does your new family love me the same? Or who's gonna take care of me now? Or just all sorts of different questions.
Are they little?
No. No, but sometimes their emotions are very scattered. They're not the same kids that I left.
Right.
Right. And so it's hard, because Natalie is a fantastic mother. She endures all the different questions and that sort of thing. But behind closed doors, and we have discussions about just like what Natalie said before. When we first met, we made our kids priority above anything else.
Right.
If our relationship doesn't work, It's going to be from outside factors, not because of lack of effort or love in our relationship.
How do you respond to those questions? Because to me, those sound like very normal questions.
Right.
That any child would have in a circumstance. He didn't split you guys up. I mean,
No.
they're just getting drug along for the ride.
Right.
So I see it not necessarily as a problem in the other home, but just normal curiosity that a child in a blended family would have.
I would tell you, however, that typically that's on one side. So if both of our exes are in the same room discussing things, I think there's probably a little bit more information involved than normal.
Does any of that information get relayed to you through the kids?
It does, but I don't know how jaded it is. I'm sure it's a lot jaded, but I don't know what's really being said, or if that's in the heart and mind of my child, or if they're trying to relay information through that child to me. I don't know.
Can you tell me a little more about what they say and why it causes you concern?
There's definitely true, real concerns. The children, on a lot of the examples, my daughter, she's a very girly girl. Our other daughter is very tomboyish, which is fine. There's a lot of questions. You're trying to change me. You're trying to do those things. And, we just want to be a happy family blended together. And I say,
who says they're trying to change?
One of the children, one of Eric's children that comes, and that's
They think you're trying to change them?
Correct.
When do they say that? What are you doing when they say that?
When she says that, I said, I'm not trying to change you at all, sweetheart. I said, I'm trying to make you the best that you can be. I said, if you told me you wanted to be a singer, I'd put you in singing lessons.
But what are you doing at the time she says you're trying to change me?
Brushing her hair.
Well, she doesn't like the way you brush her hair?
She
She has dreadlocks when she comes over.
Oh, you can't brush dreadlocks.
Well,
it hurts.
I said, I want to spend my time doing fun things too. If you came over and didn't need to be, we call it defunkified, then we could do other things. So blending is hard for us.
When divorce court continues, is Natalie so demanding and dominant that their children suffer?
Do you think Natalie and Eric's issues with their exes will ruin their relationship? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers. Call now, 1-800-282-1991.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and join the conversation on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court continues.
I think, and this is just way out of left field over here, I think you are a very domineering person because of what you said in these papers. Currently, I'm allowing Eric to take the dominant sexual role in order for him to become more sexually liberated. I did this so he would be able to find his true sexual self and explore all his sexual desires. But as his sexual freedom develops, I will fully intend to reclaim that position as the dominant partner at some point in time. He said to me the following: this marriage is supposed to be a two-way street, but sometimes I wonder if, in fact, my marriage is a one-way highway. You make decisions about where he should work, what he should do, and he says he's happy with the changes, but he feels like you're in charge of the entire direction of his life. Did I get that right?
It's pretty close.
So you're nothing wrong with being a dominating person. Some people just are. But when you're a domineering person, you don't see it such as you see. A lot of people see it. I'm right, I'm good, I know what I'm doing. Because you're making him happy. You know what I mean? He's got a better job and all that kind of stuff. But kids sense that as well when I know my stuff. And when a kid says to you, I feel like you're trying to change me, she's telling you the truth. They speak from the heart on that stuff. And all I'm asking you, because I don't know.
Sure.
Look in the mirror and ask yourself, is my personality such that I display a sense of demand when really that's not what I want to do?
That's not at all one with the kids. I would say if our relationship, yes, I'm a very dominating person is in general. I would agree with that 100%. When it comes to our children, when it comes to that, I've made it several statements. am not their mother. I'm just his helper if they need help, you know, like this, as the stepmom. I'm not trying to replace anybody. I'm just an extra pair of hands there to try to encourage and better the children in which ways I can. The statements have came when we talked about that because it really did hurt my feelings, because I feel like I really do try to be a good mom in the fact that I help, you know, do the right things for them. But that when I have other people besides just past relationships and 7, 8 people continuously talking bad about somebody, I get played to be the bad guy a lot of the time when, you know, I'm carrying a lot of the weight for the relationship. He does work, he does a wonderful job, he has a much better job, he's less tired, he's happy.
Do you talk to them about their relationship with her and what her role is? And do they share with you a sense that she's trying to change them, or they feel overwhelmed by her or anything like that?
I got to be honest with you. When I talk to my children and I discuss Natalie with them, they're very genuine. I understand their hearts. When I hear them talk anything about the fact of changing, it just sounds like a previous relationship. It sounds like that person being channeled through. I know that they love her. They tell me that they love her. And they tell her to her face that they love her, and I know that to be true. We're very successful in what we do. We have, you know, funds and home and that sort of thing, and I think there's probably, you know, some jealousy factors and that sort of thing, and so I think it gets played out through the kids.
Judge Lynn Toller's ruling next. Divorce Court. Judge Lynn Toller's ruling right now.
What did you want to clarify?
Just from the standpoint of Natalie being a little dominant, I come from a relationship, and all my previous relationships, I was the dominant one. I took care of absolutely every aspect of life. Taking a back seat, sometimes it's refreshing, but I know guys who just get walked on, that sort of thing. That's definitely not the case. We defer and you know, talk to each other.
You know, I think we're talking past each other here, Mr. Hadden. I don't believe that she's... It wasn't a pejorative reference. I wasn't saying she's being dominant over there.
All right.
Some people might, you know, like my husband, he can be, some people, because he's just strong, because he's the sweetest guy in the world.
Right.
But so I'm not saying you're dominant, you're bad. I'm saying, do you understand how your nature is and how it could be perceived?
Right.
Not that you're a bad person.
Right.
I didn't mean that at all.
No.
Okay.
But you compare and contrast a great deal.
Right.
And you always are on trying to get people somewhere better than where they are. And I think that sometimes, if that peppers your language that much, they hear and feel that. And just watch it.
Right.
I'm always into better.
Yeah.
My kids used to say to me, does everything you say to me have to come with a 10-minute lecture? Like at this juncture? But just listen to how you speak. Listen to how you determine and compare and contrast. And maybe you can't change anybody but you.
Right.
You can't fix anybody but you. And what you have to do is, what you're doing isn't working, you try something else. And you might want to sit down with them and, you know, you say all of the right stuff about, you know, we want them to be equal and share, but you gotta ask, hey, what don't you like? What's up? You seem upset, talk to me. And give them an opportunity to be loose and free with you, because all of this serious, I want you to, it's not working, right?
Right.
It's not working. So go in a different direction. If you can't get in the front door, go around the side door, you know, kick in the window, something. But double check how you're doing it. You double check how you're doing it. And then you make sure that if you need to step up a little more, that you step up a little more. Because it's weird being with the new person. The kids, she may love them and all that kind of stuff, but she's still the new chick.
Right.
You understand the things?
I do.
You with me? And when things go bad, you deal with them, not her.
Right.
That's your gig.
Okay.
You with me?
I'm with you.
Good luck to both of you. And
Thank you.
and I know you may have to get some Viagra. I don't know what's going on over at your house, but good luck to you. It was a problem my husband would love to have, I'm quite sure. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered.
Erik and Natalie agree with the judge that they need to change their tone to communicate better with their children. Post a comment or submit your case at divorcecourt.com or call toll-free 1-877-311-2222. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Divorce Court.